Hey DollFAM, welcome back to an all new pinup hairstyling tutorial. I haven't done one of these in a really long time, so I have a lot of anxiety and I'm really nervous. Newsflash, spoiler alert, we had no idea. So today I have decided that I am going to cut back in my fringe, aka Bettie bangs, for the first time in a couple of years. I did recut my bangs like right after I had Lucy, I think it was, and she's going to be 3 this September. So I do have kind of shorter hair from my last set that has grown out quite a bit. I cut them and then I never trimmed them. I just let them grow out because I didn't want to deal with them. Honestly, I was just being lazy. You know, honesty is the best policy. You guys know I believe in this. So today I'm going to be cutting my Bettie bangs in. I'm really nervous. The last time that I cut them in, I feel like I cut them in a little too heavy and a little too thick. So I kind of want to do a smaller, shorter set like I had when I got them done for the very first time by a professional. And hopefully I can achieve something close to what Miss Kat Reed gave me back in the day at Flux Salon for my very first set. When I first got my very first set of bangs cut, the only other person that I've let cut my bangs is my sweet Cody Bug, and he has cut my bangs several times. He was the only person that I let do my hair for a long time in Oklahoma City. I'm going to tag him below. He makes a lot of really cool content on TikTok, so you guys should check him out. But I'm really nervous to do this, but I wanted to film the experience because you know, if whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I know I can do this because I've done it before, and maybe I can help inspire another person out there who wants to cut their own Bettie bangs, and maybe this will kind of help guide you. So hopefully I get a good set, first of all, and then you guys can decide if you want to take my advice and my my technique tips. But I think that I'm going to do a good job, and I'm most excited about kind of reconnecting with the me that I was back when I used to rock them for years and years back in the day. So I'm kind of doing a lot of soul searching right now and reconnecting and really finding who I am. And I think it's time that I go into this summer with a fresh, hot set of Bettie Bang fringe. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I will touch base with you again once I have them cut in. Wish me luck. Universe, to all of the Bettie Page gods, let's hope this turns out okay. So first things first, real quick, let's just like touch base on tools and what I'm going to be using. I am going to be using a couple of different hot tools, some small tools, pair of scissors, a pair of mini like trimmers, like the tiny ones, a couple of different brushes, not really that much product, and it's really just about like the steps and how you do it that I have found for me to achieve the bangs that I like. So I have a pair of scissors. You need to have a really good sharp pair of scissors, because if they're not, you just don't get a clean like first cut. And then I also have 2 different types of like little combs that I use. I use this one to kind of like get the shape that I want to pull it in, and then this one's really important. I like a really close comb to keep my hair straight and really see where everything's gonna fall once it's like styled. So that's a really important thing for me. I feel like I already have hair in my mouth. And then I'm gonna use like different alligator clips and bobby pins are important. I have my flat iron, I have a pair of mini like buzzy clippers, and I have a little hair dryer. So I'm basically just gonna get started. This is all gonna be to kind of like music, because if I talk, it's gonna take my anxiety will just be like, let me also tell you what I had for breakfast. So we're not going to do that. So I'm basically just going to film myself doing this, and hopefully I don't mess up, and hopefully it all turns out. So Bettie Page, shine down on me, girlfriend. All right, everyone. So the first thing that we are going to be doing is I'm going to be sectioning out the amount of hair in shape of like the little part that you're going to see for my initial Bettie bangs style and shape. I like to use a little tiny fine pointy comb to really map that out, and then I'm going to be putting my hair up in a ponytail while I keep that section of hair out. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to wet that section of hair and I'm going to blow dry it straight because I have a part, and that's going to be tricky to kind of like get out, so I can get my bang hair to lay straight while I cut it and it doesn't keep separating. But it's okay because I've learned a couple of tricks along the way of cutting Bettie bangs on myself for years, so I think I can get past these hurdles and issues. But that's what we're going to be doing first, so let's get shaken, shall we, my sweet little bacons? Alright everyone, so quick talk. So I want to talk about what I have done here because I have made some mistakes in the past that have really messed up my shape, and also just like how easy it is to maintain and keep on style. Like if you cut too much in or you cut something in that doesn't like follow the general shape, it can kind of be really annoying all day long, or when you're trying to style your hair and your bangs just look wonky constantly. So one of the things that I cannot stress enough is that you don't start with too much pulled in from the back, because if you have too much pulled in from the back, when your bang comes forward and kind of like fans your fringe, it's going to be too wide. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, it's just a different style than like a classic Bettie bang fringe. So I definitely would recommend making sure that you do not pull too much in from the back, and also start with a smaller bang because you can always cut more in, but once you've cut it out, you know, it's cut out. So cut that shit out. I apologize. Anyways, another really important thing that I cannot stress enough is do not cut into these baby hairs, like at all. Don't do it. Don't do it because it takes forever for them to grow out, and when you like pull these down and like start cutting them, they're just really hard to keep in line when you're styling your bang, and it's a lot easier to like comb them in over here and spray them down than try to have to fight them in. And those are kind of going to be fluffies underneath your bang anyways, and those kind of just mess with the overall shape and lay of your Bettie bang. So those are the two like super important tips that I would give when you're doing this. Start small, start with a small U shape. Make sure that both sides, like you can see right here, there's a tiny bit more pulled in than over here. You want to really pay attention and take your time and make sure you get everything even. And then keep this part together and don't let it go. So, but that's it for these little tips. I'm going to get back to my progress. Alright, real quick. So first things first, we're going to start with scissors. When my bangs are this long, I don't like to start with clippers. I like to start first to get my initial length with scissors, bring in the hair that I'm going to cut into my Bettie bang and cut above my eyebrow. So when I go in with my clippers, once I dry my bangs, because I like to do, you have to use clippers on dry hair, but when I go in with dry hair, I want it above my eyebrow because I don't want to be trying to like go in by my eyebrow with clippers. So I always start my Bettie bangs with wet bangs, first initial cut, dry with a blow dryer, then I flat iron, and then I trim my rest of my shape. So let's get our first cut. I'm so nervous. So nervous. Also, another real quick important thing, I feel like I need to say this because I still see too many current TikToks with people making this mistake, but when you're cutting in your bangs, don't pull them taut, because when you let them go, it's going to be crazy. Make sure that you pull them down and then give yourself, you know, some room so it falls naturally. Don't do what you see all over TikTok. Just don't, that's not how anybody cuts bangs. And don't twist them. Don't do it. Do not do it. Okay, this has been a PSA with your best interest in mind. Let's get snipping. Alright, so we're already doing way better than I thought I was going to be at this point, because I already have more of the size and shape that I initially wanted the last time I cut my bangs and then regrew them out. I started pretty short because I want a really like short, classic, smaller Bettie bang. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to dry my hair with a blow dryer and kind of give it a little bit of a lay down with my flat iron, and then I'm going to go in and I'm going to take my little tiny clippers and I'm going to shape my sides. That's where I'm really going to get that classic U shape, because remember, classic Bettie bangs smile. They don't frown. They're not sad bangs. They're happy bangs. So I feel really positive. I already feel such a positive energy from this choice. Like, I feel really happy. I already feel like I'm like, hey girl, where have you been? So I'm really excited. So let's get to shaping so I can just start getting to know myself even more. Hot girl summer. Awkward girl summer. Who am I kidding? Okay, so real quick blow drying tip. This was taught to me by an amazing stylist. Her name is Kat Reed, and I met her in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and she was the first stylist to cut my fringe when I got it cut, like over a decade ago. Sorry, girl, I didn't mean to throw you under the age bus like that. But she had taught me that before I even like try to style my bangs, I need to just wet them down, because we all know if we've ever had fringe, you do wake up with there's something about Mary hair. So wet down your fringe and then blow it out first. But when you blow it out, do what I'm doing where I'm like blowing down to keep this line straight, because ultimately you really want to keep it as straight as possible. But she showed me that also you need to blow dry inward, because that's automatically going to kind of help keep that rounded shape and keep things from fraying out too much. And I mean, you're going to have to address that when you style your bangs, but that's kind of a really good way to start it out. A good foundation is important in all things, including Bettie bangs. So let's continue. Okay, so real quick before we get trimming, I want to talk to you guys about a couple of things. I like to use a setting spray to kind of spray my bang and brush through it to kind of just calm it down, because when you first cut that hair, it's going to be kind of wild and it's going to be kind of bristly at the end, and you don't want to flat iron your bangs yet before you trim, because that's not the natural lay of your hair, and you want it to be as kind of like unmessed with as possible, so you have everything kind of naturally cut and you don't have to do too much tweaking later. If you miss something or something needs to be adjusted, you can always do that later, because again, less is more, and you want to tweak as you go and sometimes give things time to rest, and you just don't get too crazy. Okay, we're just starting. So we want to spray it down. I like to use Suavecita pomade grooming spray. I've been using it since it came out. It was one of their first promo models when they started creating this stuff, and I absolutely still love the brand and I love the products. I don't know if that's going to get me in trouble for saying I think that there's some people out there that don't like these products, but I like them. And I can only speak on my truth, not anybody else's. So anyway, staying in my lane. I like to do that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm also going to spray a little here, because it's really important to not allow kind of the wacky craziness of these short hairs over here kind of trying to come over right now and cut them. Don't cut them. Don't do it. I've always given and I cut them because they drive me crazy. And then those are the hairs that drive me crazy every single day. And if I would just leave them and style them into my hair or kind of smooth them down, it'd be perfect. But because I try to cut them into my bang and then they constantly are just short little feelers over here. So don't do it. Stay away from them. Again, don't cut the baby hairs on the side. Just brush them into the rest of your hair. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to kind of clean up this line, and I'm going to give my final shape before I then do kind of like a flat iron, and we have our entire fringe. I feel really great. I feel really positive. I feel really good about my choice. I'm really pleased with these, actually. That was way easier than I thought it was going to be. Usually I mess up a lot and I have to just keep going, but I already cut them really, really short, so I knew that if I messed up, I was going to be in big trouble. But these came out so easy. You know, I don't know what dimension I have passed into, but it's really crazy how all of a sudden things are just going my way. Thank you, universe. Much love, much thanks, much gratitude. These are some kick-ass fringy Bettie bangs. All right, so now that I have my bangs, I'm really excited because this is just completely unstyled for the most part. Like, I haven't done my flat iron. I really like my size. I really like the shape of like where it stops and my hair begins. This one, it's different. I feel like I'm a little heavier on this side than this side, but you know, that's okay. Imperfection is where real beauty lies. So really all you can do at this point is you can run a flat iron and you can kind of like curl the ends in a little bit. I'm going to show you how to do that just so you guys can see it done. But this is a really great just like it all throughout the day, no problem, super easy. The thing that I also really like about these is that they can look really cute feathered. So you don't have to keep your Bettie bangs perfect. And until they kind of settle down from being freshly cut, sometimes it'll drive you crazy because you'll notice all like maybe a tiny little hair here or a tiny little hair here that you missed. Be really careful to not get too obsessive about those. Just leave it alone for a while, come back to it in a couple of days and see how you feel about it, because you can kind of get caught into like trying to make everything look perfect and ultimately you just really mess yourself up even more. So step away, put the scissors, put the clippers down, kind of just let things rest. If it bothers you, kind of what I always do is kind of just give myself like a feathered Bettie bang. And it's kind of cute because it kind of looks like an Audrey Hepburn bang. And then you just don't have to worry about it. It's just kind of feathered. It's cute. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to do it with the flat iron. And then I'm going to give my hair a little zhuzh, a little Bettie Page zhuzh, and we'll see the final product. So let's get zhuzhing. I'm so awkward. I apologize. So that's pretty much it. I just kind of curled my ends a little bit. I'm not going too hard. I'm not going too hard today. I still want to be lazy later and I don't want to be all dolled up. So basically all that's left really is a little hairspray. I really enjoy Suavecito Pomades hairspray. It smells really good. It works fantastically. And I swapped out my Aquanet for it, so I use that. And then also I would recommend maybe a little shine spray to give your bangs that gloss. Hey girl. And then also, you know, the rest of your, if you have Betty black hair, a little shine can go a long way. That was probably too much, but you know me, I'm extra. So that's it. That is our bang tutorial. So I think the only thing that's left is to put on a little bit of red lipstick and really see how these bangs don't play. So excuse me 1 second. I'll be right back. I feel like that looks so much better. Look at it. It came together great. And you want to know what I think is even more fascinating about making this video right now at this moment? I heard that it's National Pinup Day, and I didn't even know that was a thing, and I've been a pinup for over a decade. I don't know, it's probably a new thing. I feel like there's days popping up, but if it just actually is National Pinup Day, I think that it's probably really good karma to have cut in bangs in honor and tradition of the queen of all pinups, Miss Bettie Page. So, homage! Look how great these look. I'm so excited. I feel like this couldn't have been a better experience, and all it does is give me even more positive affirmations that I made the right choice. Yes, it's going to be a banging summer. Sorry. So that's going to be it for this kind of the dolls pinup do's, how-to's. I can't remember what I used to call these. I haven't done it in such a long time. But I hope this helps you guys in your journey to try and cut your own perfect fringe. If you guys have any questions at all, always feel free to reach out to me. I am an open book. Knowledge is power and sharing is caring. So I want to share the knowledge that I have with you because I think sharing power is also a pretty rad thing to do. So you guys can always reach out to me with any questions. But you know, all you can do is experiment and try. But be careful, cut in a little at a time. If you guys want to learn how to kind of like style other pinup and rockabilly do's around Bettie bangs, I have a lot of videos on my channel that can help you do victory rolls and wear bandanas and do all kinds of fun styles while incorporating your Bettie bangs into all those styles. So remember, keep at it. If you're new to the style, it just takes a lot of practice, and I am always here to help. So I love your beautiful faces, and I will see you next time. And I guess happy International Pinup Day. Bye.